Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel for another episode. I'm Sahib, this is Nabil. Round 1 has just ended and we're here to talk about everything that falls out from it. Nabil, how are we doing?
What a round of footy.
Absolutely.
What a round of footy this weekend.
Absolutely. A lot of upsets, a lot of teams that turned up that we didn't think they were going to turn up.
Yes, teams that are supposed to turn up that are yet to turn up. So
Yep.
everything in between.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can't wait for this one.
A lot has happened this weekend. A lot of interesting things have happened. A lot of hot topics that we're going to go through today.
We'll certainly get there.
But as always, we're going to start off with
Thursday night, the traditional season opener.
I think they need to cancel that shit.
Carlton, Richmond at the MCG Thursday night.
They need to definitely cancel that shit.
What a win by the Carlton Football Club.
Don't say what a win.
What
Do
a
not say
win.
what a win.
We
That
played
was
half a game
a
of footy
horrible
and
game.
we found a way to win.
That's the problem.
So
you played half a
we
game
played
of
half
footy.
a game and we still won.
That was a rubbish performance. I'll tell you that much
Patrick
for free.
Cripps. I really want to talk about Patrick Cripps. We'll
Oh, you all love him now? You wanted to drop him last week?
I loved him. I've loved him. We had one fan that didn't like him, that the footage went viral, but I've always been a fan of Patrick Cripps. Never, ever write off a champion. He was back at his best. 32 disposals, 9 clearances, went up forward, took a couple of great marks.
Couldn't kick straight.
Cripper was
I'm so
back.
sorry, but I'm actually shitting on
Cripper
Carlton
was
full-time today.
back.
It's my full-time job
That's
today.
okay. We will talk about the Collingwood game in a minute.
Okay, why do you have to pivot to Collingwood? Talk about Carlton right now.
Yes, Cripper was back. He was powerful. He looked good.
Yep.
I'll take the win, not confidently.
Okay, that's a better tone. That's a better tone.
I'll take the win, but I'll take
what
the
we
win.
started with.
We won, and that's important. Sometimes you need to win ugly.
Sometimes Carlton
You
only
gotta
win ugly. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, at the end of the day, we're looking at the scorecard for the season, and it says 1 win, 1 loss, and that's all that matters. You walk out with a W. And
I think ugly wins mean a lot more against good quality opposition.
I guess we'll take a win. A win's a win, and
We'll talk about Carlton supporters.
We will move on to not next week. We've got the bye, but the week after we play Melbourne.
Okay, outside of Paddy Cripps, there's a couple more other things that you said you wanted to talk about today.
Yeah, big fan of
Carlton.
Yes, big fan of Harry Dean. He's shown some mongrel about him. His second game, he just.
You guys have hyped him up.
Yeah, what I liked is he just shows toughness and doesn't back down. And I've seen some footage on social media and during the game of even him just wrestling with Tom Lynch. I really enjoy that.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, talk to me.
Did he walk straight into that Carlton lineup because your team is rubbish? Did he walk straight? Because a kid.
I mean, right now Collingwood could do with a player like Harry Dean.
Why do we have to keep pivoting to Collingwood?
He's certainly earned his spot. He's a good player, very, very talented, and father-son as well.
Yep.
The other thing I want to touch on is second half fade outs.
Yeah,
it's a Carlton problem. I just think it's mental. To be honest, I think it's just mental. That's all it is. It's all in their head. So they get the bye, they come out, they go to see the psychologist, whatever it might be.
Brother, what?
I'm telling you,
mental got to do with.
It's just mental. It's not fitness. It's not game plan. It's all of it is.
So you just decide once they go into the rooms, they go, "Yeah, I'm clock off after
I don't
this
know
because
what it
I cannot
is.
be
It's
bothered."
just like a team that's just under pressure.
They need to
I saw some stats courtesy of Sam Doherty. He said he compared Carlton to a few of the top teams, so Collingwood, Geelong, Brisbane. And when it comes to contest, when Carlton is winning the contest, they win about 60 to 70% of matches, which is the same for Collingwood, Geelong, and Brisbane. When Carlton is losing the centre contest, they win 8%.
Yeah,
Collingwood, Geelong, and Brisbane win about 50 to 60% of those games.
No, I think that sounds about right. I think we're not as. I mean, take out Collingwood, but the other teams are not as good as the other teams. We're not.
You
as,
call
we're
me a hater,
we're not
but
as,
the way you just drag Collingwood any chance you get,
Geelong and Brisbane are certainly top teams in the competition.
Unbelievable, you know that, yeah.
So fair enough. Like we're not there yet. Maybe
you've never been there.
We could be there at the end of the season, but we're not there yet. And Geelong, we did beat Geelong last season, so says a lot about Carlton.
Says a lot about Carlton. Very interesting to say the least.
But hey, we won. We're on the board. We get to sing the song. Yes, it wasn't pretty. Yes, it wasn't great. But the Baggers found a way to win. And Cripper is back.
2 important games against Melbourne and North Melbourne coming up now for the Blues.
Big games.
Against Do we remember what happened against North Melbourne last year?
Yeah, I also remember we beat Melbourne. We did beat North as well. So
Melbourne's also.
Did we see what they both did on the weekend?
Yes, we did.
We did. So
And did we see what Carlton did? Yes, we did. So
I
you know what
guess-
that means for Carlton?
Do you know what it means? It means 3 teams that won. Carlton won, Melbourne won, North Melbourne won. It's a good round result for all 3 teams, and we
did
play
say
them.
there were a couple of upsets this week.
We'll
and
talk about that. Yeah.
They're all upsets. So
Quick
That's-
question for both of you: If Sack Voss, if Carlton are not 3-1 in the next 2 weeks,
Sack Voss.
I've been saying
Sack Voss after they lose to North Melbourne in 2 weeks.
I've been calling Zach Voss for almost 2 seasons. But we've been
Yeah.
consistent on Michael Voss, and look, my position is unchanged.
That is the
so
problem.
1 and 3. Thank you very much for your time. We move on to Saturday
Night.
night.
That was
Yes,
a very,
you
very
went to the
disappointing-
game. You went to the game with one of our
Yes.
regular
With-
guests.
Yes.
Z.
Who's sitting right next to you, by the way.
He's next to us.
Yes, we did go to the game on Saturday, and it was an atrocious game.
atrocious.
More or
to
less
us, talk to
atrocious. The first and the foremost
Why
issue.
did Collingwood lose? Tell me why Collingwood lost.
Because
Why
you know-
did Collingwood lose today?
You know,
sorry.
you know how Carlton disappears from the
Yeah,
game,
yeah.
from the ground after halftime.
Yes.
Collingwood's forward line was like that from the beginning of the game.
Yeah, it was.
We need a new forward line. Unfortunately, Collingwood, the people that, list management,
Yeah.
whoever the hell it is, brother, if you want to throw $10 million at Ben King, Sam Darcy, a lot of them.
You've had this list for 3 years and you haven't been able to manufacture a forward line.
Well, they've been playing with makeshift forwards for 10 years, maybe. The last proper forward we had was Travis Cloak.
We haven't had a proper.
And he hasn't
forward
been
since
here
Travis
for
Cloak,
10
yeah.
years.
Why has it taken so long to develop a forward?
There's not many.
I don't
in the
think they've
AFL.
ever. Well, for the last couple of years, they've thrown out all their first round picks and all their draft picks. So we haven't been able to go to the draft. That's the first problem.
Yeah.
Second problem is they messed up the salary or the
Brody Grundy. Yeah.
Adam Treloar, Taylor. There was a bunch of guys that they were paying, so it was not like they could attract any big names. And more or less, there hasn't been any massive names besides Oscar Allen now,
So
who moved from
just
West Coast.
tells me you haven't been able to put together a forward line.
Yeah, but we've also won a premiership in that time, so we don't need a complete forward line. If we had Charlie Curnow and Harry Mackay in our forward line, brother, would be in the last 10 premierships would have been ours too, okay? But yeah, the forward line has been a big problem.
has been.
As we saw on the weekend, the small forwards did their job. Shooter, Lockie Schultz,
Yeah.
Bo McCreary, even though he was running through the middle and through the midfield, even though Jamie Elliott did not perform as well for the first 2.5 quarters, and after half time, and especially in that last quarter, he showed up, he played well. Apparently he was down with the flu during the week and never trained.
Do you reckon how much? Like, I'm not hating here. Actually, not hating.
How much
here.
truth there is to it?
Yeah, it's
Well,
like the Conning story that came out today. It's
I
like-
don't know. So apparently that was the
Yeah.
case. But more or less, he did better than the other 3 forwards that we had.
They did.
The
They
Keys,
looked alright.
McStay, Buller, and Membry.
Are you sold on Buller? I know we've talked about him. You got.
I'm in 2 minds when it comes to him.
Talk to us
Yeah.
about Buller.
Part of me is saying he's young, he needs some time. He's only played 10 games, 11,
Yeah.
12 now, with the 2 he's played at Collingwood. So part of me says he needs some time, and you can't expect him to just pop up and, be the guy. I always think he's going to be the second forward. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, so
I don't
he's
think
not
he's
gonna
ever
be
going to
an
be
A-grade
the,
forward.
I don't think he will ever be that key forward. He will always be that second forward. The other part of me is just like, this is another Jesse White from Sydney. For those that remember
Jesse
Jesse
White.
White. It's
he's got
another
good
Jesse
areas.
White.
Good
Another
areas,
Jesse White
yes.
situation where
Yeah.
they've just plucked a forward, coincidentally out of Sydney again, and they've brought him to the team just to almost just to make it seem like we do have another forward,
Yeah.
but it's not somebody that you can actually rely on. So part of me thinks that, and the other part of me is thinking give him time, let
So
him develop.
give him a go.
Exactly. So because of that reason, and Membry's old and slow, I'm so sorry,
Yeah,
but it's the
Membry's
reality
done.
of the truth.
Membry, I'm writing this guy off. He's finished.
Absolutely.
Myercheck wasn't finished. Myercheck, and look, he showed up.
Myercheck-
He went and kicked 3 goals for Melbourne.
For Melbourne,
But
exactly.
Membry, that was a fluke. Last season was an absolute fluke.
I don't think it was a fluke last season. I think last season...
St Kilda borderline delisted him, bro.
Yeah, they did delist
They
him.
delisted him.
Yeah, he was a delisted free agent that we picked up.
And he had a good season, but
Exactly.
I'm
So
not a fan.
that was a big issue for me, our forward line. Blood the kids. I've been
Blood
saying
the
this for so
kids.
long. I don't understand why Joel Cochran did not play on the weekend because Adelaide's forward line, forget feasting. There's a lot of things I could say that are inappropriate for the camera, but that's what Adelaide's forward line did to Collingwood's defence. Because I had Isaac
I
Quainer
think they
playing on
forward line, yeah.
Riley
They were just-
Thilthorpe.
They were
Come
too
on.
big. They were too dominant. I think both ends, their forward line and
their
even
defense,
the back line. Yeah. They were just strolling out of that back line, and you had no pressure.
At least the forward line, our forward line, has the excuse of saying they have key position players.
Yeah,
They
there
don't
was still
perform.
no.
I
what
agree.
Collingwood's good used to be known for was their ground ball
And that's the
forward
problem.
pressure.
When we had
Non-existent.
Myercheck and Cox, and don't want to go too much into that, but when we had Myercheck and Cox, even if they didn't mark the ball, they would bring it
there
to
was
ground.
A bit of effort. Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
Once it got to ground, Lockie Schultz, Jamie Elliott, Bo
Bobby
McCreary,
Hill.
these guys, Bobby Hill, which I think we're missing very much at the moment, all those guys would actually get to work. Now, the problem now is those guys can't go to work or are not going to work as efficiently.
No.
And the bigger guys are not bringing the ball to ground. So what exactly is the forward line doing?
Yeah.
Right.
And your backline's got similar troubles.
And our back line,
No Darcy Moore,
Darcy
no
Moore has
Howe.
never been a Jacob Wiedering,
No.
a Harris Andrews, a Sam Collins, Tom He's never been one of those
He's
guys.
more of a Alex, not even, sort of like an Alex Rance. Not even.
Or like
But,
a Mac Andrew,
yeah.
like an intercepting defender. He
He's-
cannot
he's
play
a-
one-on-one.
He struggles one-on-one, exactly.
Jeremy Howe's the same.
Reef McInnes has showed some potential of that though.
He has, but he's
But
also injured at the
Very-
moment.
Yeah, very limited.
Howe's injured, Moore's injured.
Don't rate McInnes either.
I mean,
I don't.
I
I'm not even
haven't
hating.
seen
I'm
enough
the
of him to
football
say
person.
I don't rate him.
You'll know
He
when I'm
was-
hating on Collingwood.
You're not wrong. But yeah, like that's the issue we have.
Jeremy Howe, in my opinion, is at the end of his career.
He's not going past. I'll struggle to see him playing well the whole year, even if he comes back from injury.
So
He'll play, don't get me wrong, but I don't know how well he'll play. And then Reef McGuinness, I say trial him because you don't have any choices. I've been saying this. Play the kids,
He has
him,
to
even
play.
Joel Cochran. If Jeremy Howe's body's not holding up halfway through the season, bring in Joel Cochran and play him. Let him learn, but through experience. You're not going to be able to teach him how to play AFL
So just
football
play
in
the
VFL.
kids.
Just play him. You don't have a
Alright,
choice.
Speaking of Collingwood, then I'm going to throw this at you. You've seen them play two games now.
Yeah,
Where does actually? And I'll pose this to Z as well.
yeah.
Where does Collingwood finish? You've seen enough.
The season,
2 games now.
I think we'll still finish in the top 8. Don't get me
So
wrong.
Give
Once-
us a spot in the 8.
6th.
Z.
I said this and I'll continue saying it.
Yeah, I'm thinking 5th, 6th.
Yeah.
You guys still think you'll finish 5th and 6th?
Yeah.
It's a bad game at the end of the
Despite
day. We've
Yeah,
got players
sort of
coming back
beating-
from injury.
Yeah.
beating St Kilda and then losing to Adelaide.
Our game against Adelaide, the ball went into the forward 50 in an abundance. They just couldn't convert it.
Fair
yeah.
enough.
The defense held up more or less. Yeah, they got killed by
Think
the
you-
three.
So
the three-headed
you
dragon.
guys say you're in the top 6 best teams this season.
Yeah.
Yep.
Count me 6 teams before us. Go ahead. Count me 6 teams before us.
Sorry.
Hey.
Hey, we're a bottom 6 team.
There you go.
all right. No. I personally think you guys are going to finish 10th, 11th. That's what I think you guys are going to finish. So I'm really surprised you guys say 6th.
No, I think we will finish 6th.
All
only-
right.
for
All
the
right,
simple fact that
Honestly, I was genuinely curious. I got your answers, and
if you got this answer 2 weeks ago as well, I don't know why it's so funny
Yeah,
now.
because I've seen the 2 after I've seen the 2 games, it's like not top 6.
Well,
Anyways,
we didn't play shit against St Kilda.
You did beat St Kilda. You did beat St
No,
Kilda.
not beat them. We played well against them. Did we
Yeah,
not?
but St Kilda were inefficient going inside 50.
That doesn't
St.
mean
St.
they didn't
Kilda
play
had their
well.
chances too.
Yeah, St. Kilda
they
did play
they
well too.
They did. So,
But yeah, Collingwood
enough.
and their mess from the weekend. It was not fun to be there for it, unfortunately. But on to the next.
on to the next.
Um,
Moving on.
What time of the week is it, Nabil?
It is our favorite segment, my favorite segment, top team of the week, flop team of the week.
That's it.
Sahab, kick us off. Top team of the week. Who you got?
My top team of the week is a team you guys are hopefully going to lose to in a couple of weeks. It's Melbourne.
The
Unfortunately.
Melbourne Demons. New look Melbourne Demons.
Yeah, absolutely. They looked very, very good.
They did.
That brand new midfield, I can almost say.
Yeah.
It felt like
Wow.
a brand new car.
It was like a Ferrari.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
The guys that were running through that midfield, Langford, there was no Viney, no Oliver, no Petrarca. Max Gawn at 34 years old.
Dominated TDK.
I genuinely think he might be the greatest ruckman ever.
That's a good call, actually. That is a
Greatest
good call.
ruckman ever.
Take
because
it to the bank.
He had $1.8 million I was about to say Tom
Ex-Carlton.
Tom de Koning on him. And he took Tom the Coning
cleaners.
to the shop, to the cleaners, to the grocery store,
You're
everywhere.
going to hate on TDK. He's not a Carlton man anymore.
Wiped the floor with him and left him out there because how? Now, obviously, the story about Tom the Coning being unwell during the week came out, but nonetheless,
You cross the wall, you cross that field, you're fit to play.
absolutely. Apparently, there were stories that he wasn't going to play till an hour before the game. All that is useless because, all that is useless because once you step into the field,
Yeah, facts.
After he got the floor wiped with him, now he's sick.
apparently.
Cap.
Well, they brought a lot of footage of him like not being able to run out. Like he was like heavy breathing after rock contests and stuff like
He
that.
played well in the first half.
That's crazy. AI is crazy.
He played well in the first half.
He did. So yeah, Melbourne, their forward line with a new look, Mychek,
Shout out
Jacob Van Rooyen,
kick six.
Bailey Fritsch. Yeah, those boys all did play their part. Melbourne actually, for the first time in a very long time, actually look like they have a forward line now.
They do, yeah.
It's very interesting seeing Melbourne playing better, Petrarca playing better, Oliver playing better. Everyone just benefited from them leaving.
Yeah. I mean,
that's a good shout.
sometimes you just need a fresh start.
Even Jack Steele moving to Melbourne, he had a good game.
And a good game.
Great shout. Yeah.
And he even said, I don't think I had that much of a good game. I looked at his stats, I'm like, brother, you had a very good game. So, that's why Melbourne's my top team of the week. And yours?
And mine, I'm starting to like this team. I've always had a soft spot for them.
Okay.
And it is the Western Bulldogs.
Yes.
Sons
they
of the
did play
West.
very well
We
this
gave them
weekend.
a hard time last season. Percentage farmers, flat track bullies. We've talked about it.
Yep.
But they are starting to become one of my favourite teams, the Western Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Dominated. Bontempelli had I don't know how many, had 18 and 2 or 3 goals in the first quarter or first half
Yeah.
against the GWS Giants.
Yep.
So, yeah, they just look really, really good. We've talked about them last week in detail about their defense. Their midfield, again, is so potent. And then their offense is what we've spoken about in that great depth as well.
Yep.
Darcy, Norton, West as well is starting to come on board. So, Bulldogs, for me, big fan of them. They're travelling along. And beating the Giants, a team that's, I would think, top 6 or top 8.
It's almost like a voodoo for the Giants at this
yeah.
point. They cannot beat the Doggies, especially in Melbourne.
It was just the way they just belted them, really.
Yeah.
Summarize that.
Absolutely.
And flop team of the week. Do you want to take us away?
Yes. My flop team of the week, Port Adelaide. Not the fact that they lost to North, but they played horribly. Besides Zach Butters, I could not see a single player on that field for them that played half decently and competed with North. North's midfield, LDU, Jai Simkin.
They look good.
They ran amok. Lucky kicked 4, I think, up forward. Zerha. Their defense finally held up. Their defense, because Port's forward line is not a joke either. Their defense held up. So Port are my flop team of the week, and North played very well.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yours.
Essendon. I know I'm going to talk about Essendon a little bit later
later,
on.
yeah, absolutely.
But, man, what a disappointing performance by the Essendon Football Club.
I think they're running out
from
of
the
excuses
first
now.
30 seconds when Hawthorn got that clearance out of the middle and went forward and kicked a goal. It was just the signs were ominous. We'll talk about Essendon later on, so I'll just leave it there.
Absolutely.
Essendon, you are my flop team of the week.
Moving on, which one of these
So I can
topics
see
that are going to
something
piss me
here.
off
I can see
that we're
something
going to
here
start
that
with?
we see you've got written, and it says umpires.
Did you see
So,
the
umpires-
atrocious umpiring on the weekend?
Saturday night.
Especially in that Collingwood
Is
game.
it-
Now, before people take this the wrong way, let me clarify very
Wait,
well.
hold on. Sahib, you just moved a bit too much there. 50-meter penalty.
Yeah, there you go.
Hang on,
Collingwood didn't lose the game because of the umpires.
Cook.
Yeah, Collingwood didn't lose the game because of the umpires. We lost the game because we
Yeah.
played shit and because of personnel issues. The amount of 50-meter penalties, Oprah when she goes, TV for you, TV for you, TV. The umpires were doing that with 50-meter penalties to every Adelaide Crows player.
Do you think the game was over umpired?
Well, that brings me to the point I'm trying to make about the umpires issue. The stand rule is a massive problem right now.
You don't like it?
Well, it's not that I don't like it. It's getting officiated horribly. Again, they made the change. They brought this rule in where the stand rule, you can't be on the... Because what happens is if you take a mark, right, and I come running from behind you, what do you want me to do? Not
You gotta
stand on the mark?
You have to stand on the
but
mark.
I'm behind you. You've taken the
Yeah,
mark.
yeah.
You're in front of me. I have to run past you to stand the mark, right? The umpires are calling 50 meters against those players, It's because if I don't stand in front of, if I don't stand, what happens?
So
the guy has no man on the mark on him.
The AFL brought in a new interpretation to the stand rule this year during the preseason, which was if the umpire calls stand, one of those players has to stand.
What if there's no one in front of the player that has got the ball in his hand?
But there always is.
There was multiple times against Adelaide, and anybody that didn't watch that game, you could go back and watch it. There was multiple times where the ball would be marked while the Adelaide player is running towards their end of, like towards their goal. The Collingwood player would be behind him. Now, the Collingwood player has to move in front of him to stand the mark, or else what is the point of him standing?
Yeah, so the umpire, if there's multiple players running past, right? Regardless, if there's multiple,
if there's multiple players running past,
they brought this interpretation is if there's players running past and the
Explain
umpires. This is my understanding, and I may have got this completely wrong, and that's okay. But my understanding is if there's players running past, and the umpire calls stand, the player has to stand.
Which player?
Hence, one of them. And that's where the confusion. I get the confusion.
You see what I'm saying?
I understand that, but they brought this interpretation in. It's not a new thing. I'm not defending them, mind you. I'm not a fan of the umpires.
The rule, not so much. The interpretation.
The interpretation is one they brought in. They've applied the rule over the preseason.
And
they applied it in the Origin game, and now it was tested, and it wasn't a great look. I'll give you that.
It was carried out horribly.
It's not the first 50 they've paid in with that interpretation. I think they paid it with Cripps and Mackay, either in the Sydney game or in the.
No, I understand.
Carlton
I'm
game.
saying across the board. Like I saw it firsthand in the Collingwood Adelaide game, which is what was
how
frustrating.
would you like it to be interpreted?
Well, two things. Once the umpire says stand, he needs to either pick a player that he wants to stand.
Call the player.
So it'd be like, hey, if there's McCreary, Schultz, and
Pendlebury,
Elliott running,
Pendlebury stand.
And then he has to let the player get into a position where he can stand. Because if you took the mark there and I'm standing right next to you and he says stand, what the hell's the point of me standing next to you?
Yeah.
But what's the point of me being the man on the mark standing next to you?
You got to stand where the umpire tells you to stand.
No, I understand that. But again, what's the point if we're side by side and you
player
stay
has to
stand?
go back and take his kick.
Fantastic. Then the umpire
we'll
needs to, if that's the case, then the umpire needs to say, hey, Pendlebury, stand, let the other guys run past. Or let them outside the 5 meter zone.
The AFL will turn around and say to you, it's not on the umpire to dictate which players to stand. That's up to the team or to work it out.
If there's two players and one of them tries to stand and one of them tries to move,
work it out between you guys.
Yeah, okay. And if there's 2 players or 3 players there and one of them stands or 2 of them are standing and 2 of them trying to leave, that's what they pay in the 50 meters for. No, the other guy leaves.
If the other one leaves, they won't pay.
That happened multiple times on Saturday night.
By the time you decide between the 2 of you,
it's not good.
It's 50.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like the end result is never going to be either they need to make the rule where the closest player to the guy with the ball stands, or there has to be a discrete rule.
I don't think you can get the umpire to dictate which player stands.
Brother,
I think you leave that to the team. I wouldn't want that. I might want my Jake Wittering. Well, I mean, even if you look at the Carlton game, there was a 50 played against Wittering. Was 50, not 50. Was it 50? No, it wasn't 50 paid. Yep. But Wittering wanted to run back. Reader, but the umpire called stand, so Wittering had to stand the mark. Not in Carlton's interest for Wittering to stand the mark. Yeah. It's in Carlton's interest for Wittering to go back into the 50. Yeah. So Wittering had to stand. Funny enough, Richmond went forward and they kicked a goal. And Wittering was out of position. But
or when there isn't a player there and opposition player takes a mark, and there's multiple players, and like you said, like for example, you would want Wittering down in defense instead of standing the mark. Now, if you leave it up to the team to pick who stands the mark, then they're going to say, "Hey, Wittering, go!" But the umpire says stand.
So you got to stand.
And the moment Wittering moves, he's going to call 50.
Yeah.
That's the problem. So all I'm saying is the interpretation and the way it's applied needs to be cleared up or clarified.
And you're never going to get that with AFL and our rules.
Unfortunately.
Quick fire. Stand rules. Keep or let go?
Keep,
but just interpret it properly.
Anyways.
Yeah, there you go. You said you wanted to talk about Essendon.
I really want to talk about Essendon.
Let's talk about Essendon.
I think this club is in disarray.
This club is in a shithole.
Essendon are in the hole.
I agree.
Apart from Zach Merritt,
yep.
Durham, I think, is a B+. I don't think he's maybe an A, not an A+ player.
Yep.
Parrish is not on the field enough.
Finished. Parrish is finished.
Number 1 draft pick and captain, what's his name?
Andrew McGrath.
Andrew McGrath, B+ footballer and a small defender.
He's been a consistent player, just not one you can completely
Nick
rely
Martin, he can't get on the park.
Yep.
They've got a coach who's in his 4th year. They sacked Ben Rutten
Yep.
to get Brad Scott because they thought they were a chance. Then halfway through, they realised, actually, we might have to rebuild. Last year, they were copping injuries. To come out against Hawthorn and not perform has
a big
God.
part of
I'd hate to be an Essendon supporter, man.
No,
I'd
I
go for
agree with
Carlton.
you. A big part of the reason why they did not perform well on Sunday or Saturday. What day did they play? Friday.
Friday.
Sorry. And there's a couple of footy shows that have spoken about this in abundance.
One of our friends has been talking about this as well for years.
Absolutely. Is their senior players are not showing any sort of effort, any sort of like leadership in terms of the way they play. They showed a bunch of clips of Essendon players attacking the leaders. Zach Merritt, Andrew McGrath, Parrish, Durham, all the guys, the ones, not the kids.
The leaders.
The leaders, the ones that
On-field
kids
leaders,
actually
yeah.
look at, because if I'm a kid playing in that team, if I'm 19 and there's Zach
You're
Merritt
like
who's
Jaden
30,
Ewan or something.
exactly, I'm looking at what is this guy doing? Because at the end of the day, it's a team sport, yeah? There's no Zach Merritt can't do it, but I have to do it because if we both don't do it, we're going to fail, right?
They just don't defend, man.
And the way they were going was when the ball is getting attacked, they all run with the attack.
Absolutely.
The moment the ball goes back the other way over their heads,
How
they
many
stop.
times did we see it against Hawthorn?
And that was the problem.
There was
And
like
that's the massive
Hawthorn
problem.
players. There was a procession of Hawthorn players in the middle. So many times, Hawthorn will go the other way. There's no Essendon player inside.
And the worst part is, even if the new and talented kids that come in play well, once they start seeing this and once they start feeling like that is normalized, they will stop doing it as well. And it doesn't matter if Nick Dacos goes to Essendon, he'll start playing like that too, because the whole club is, because it's like, why am I the only one going back? Right?
Do you think forcing Zach Merritt, who wants to leave, to stay has caused sort of a cultural issue at Essendon now?
Nah, I think they patched that up.
You've got a
Not
player who
really.
doesn't really want to be there, who
think
might
that-
be a bit lazy on running back.
No,
I think they patched that up.
it's not even that. I don't think it's not. It's more so. It's if Essendon were competing for a grand final, right, for a premiership right now, he would want to stay
I
there.
think
His issue wasn't not wanting to be at that. It's not his issue. Wasn't the club. It was
just
being
the
at a
lack of
club that's
success.
not.
Yeah.
Contending. So I don't necessarily think that.
Just with Essendon.
Yep.
This is why I think they're in serious trouble.
Yep.
I've done some research.
Yep.
This is some of their players. I don't know if it's all of them. Some of their players in the 24 to 25 age bracket. That sort of
Yep,
crucial to your nucleus of your football club.
Yep.
You tell me how many of these players are A-grade stars.
Okay. Name them off.
Nick Cox,
Nope.
Nick Bryan,
Nope.
Sam Durham,
Nope.
Jackson Pryor,
Nope.
Saad El Howley.
He's very young,
Yeah, I know.
and yes,
He's a
he was picked as a
mid-season pick,
mid-season
yeah.
pick.
But quick.
No.
Nick Martin,
Nope.
Harrison Jones,
Nope.
Jai Caldwell,
Has the potential to be, but he's not right now.
Xavier Dersma,
Nope. Definitely not.
and Tom Edwards.
Nope.
They're in trouble.
They have about
They're-
3 A-grade players.
That's it.
I'm so sorry to say.
They are in trouble. This club, they're playing a lot of kids. They're playing kids like Archer May and Zach Johnson and
Yep.
Jaden
Jaden Ewan, sorry.
Jaden Ewan. But none of these kids have come through. None of these kids you look at are going to be like,
Well,
that kid is going to be is a star.
You need a team that's performing, and you need leaders that can help make that happen. If you have leaders that are not performing, doing their own jobs, they're not going to worry about trying to play well enough that you also feed off of them. If they're not playing well enough,
They're
you're just
not.
gonna be like, I can't be bothered
Their
either,
leaders
to be
are not
honest.
playing well. Mason Redmond's another one that, I mean, if I was an Essendon supporter, I'd be very frustrated.
Yeah.
Great offensively,
Defensively, non-existent.
non-existent.
And unfortunately, offenses or attacks win you games. They do not win you premierships.
don't,
Defenses
no.
do. And if you're a team that can only attack and don't bother, because Hawthorn were doing literally that as they played on Friday, because Essendon would attack, Hawthorn would turn it over
Absolutely.
and send it straight back over their heads. And the Hawthorn players didn't even have to worry about running.
they
Could just loop the hand passes over Essendon players' heads.
Moore, Ginnivan, Watson.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah,
And they were just having
did
a
as they
field
pleased,
day.
man.
And the amount of clips there are of those Essendon players that were on a particular player that would run forward, but then they would pay no respect and no attention to the guy they left outside their 50.
Amon and Impey were just zipping off half-back, doing as they please.
And
Is that on the senior players or coaching staff? Brad
senior
Scott?
players.
I think
I'm
it's
so sorry.
coaching.
Well,
It could
I
be
think
game
it's
plan.
if the
coaching,
coach,
yeah.
if the coach and the game plan is telling you to run back and you're not doing it,
I
whose
think
fault
it's
is it?
coaching. No, I think it's system because that Essendon have had this issue for years. It's not a one-game issue.
It is,
Our-
yeah,
our-
you're
one
right,
of our
you're right.
friends
It's
is an
not.
Essendon man. He's
Yeah,
been
you're right.
talking about this
Yeah, you're right.
system issue for years.
You're right.
And that falls on Brad Scott. And I know we talked about coaches that could be out of a job by the end of the season. Brad Scott's
He's
another
definitely
one.
under the microscope, Brad
Essendon
Scott.
fans want him out.
So,
Um,
someone said they went and got the wrong Scott.
Yeah.
Brad wasn't the man for the job. But
so, yeah. I look-
Essendon's the defective genes of all the AFL families. The
yeah, you're not wrong, bro.
Mackay's, the Scotts.
That is crazy,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you're not wrong. Yeah,
Yeah,
Ben
so-
Ben Mackay is another one who they paying a lot of money to. Came as a free agent, and he was a better player in North Melbourne than he is
100%.
in a very, very few times in games that he would play for North Melbourne because of injury. He's a much better player as a North Melbourne player than he is an Essendon player. And he got brought to Essendon to be a leader in that back line. And right now he needs leadership himself.
It does, yeah.
So yeah, Essendon are in shambles, and as Collingwood and Carlton supporters, I'm sure we're glad to hear that.
But yeah, I really wanted to get that off my chest about Essendon. I was
No,
so disappointed
definitely.
in their performance.
Errol Gulden.
Yeah, that's a big loss. Do you want to talk about what's the news with Errol Gulden?
So Errol Gulden did his shoulder on the weekend.
Yep.
Popped out. Up until I think this morning, they were contemplating whether he was going to get surgery. More than likely, he was going to get surgery because he needs it. So they've gone ahead and decided he is going to get surgery. Now he's out for 4 months.
Yeah, that's a big loss. That's massive.
He was one of their players, one of Sydney's
almost
players
finals.
that was also out for most of last year and struggled to come back in and play well. Right now, yep, finals are the closest thing that he can get prepared for. 4 months from now will be July,
Yeah,
and he'll have a month.
He'll have a month, to
And
get
even
back.
that month, it'll be
Rehab,
game conditioning
yeah.
and getting ready to actually play at AFL level for 2 hours again. So big loss.
Huge loss.
He's huge for them.
Yeah,
Such a-
absolutely.
They struggled last year in the first half of the season without him and Heeney. So
And speaking of Heeney, he
Heeney,
also got
hamstring
injured,
awareness.
hamstring awareness, and is also, I'm pretty sure, in a doubtful situation to play against Hawthorn this week.
Gulden.
So
was a
Gulden,
massive
Heeney,
loss.
that's basically their whole engine room. That's 8 of their cylinders.
Wish we played them with it. We played them.
I mean, I will be honest, Sydney played well against Brisbane on the weekend. Like, they absolutely decimated Brisbane.
Yeah.
And yes, Brisbane's team was in shambles, suspensions, injuries. Interestingly enough, I heard that their VFL team's game got postponed or cancelled because they didn't have enough players.
Wow.
Brisbane. So yeah, Sydney did a number and a half on Brisbane, but for valid reasons, Brisbane could not show up. But losing Gulden and Heeney,
Massive.
more or
outs.
less early in the season, it's a lot better than later in the season. But losing them at any part of the season, if you're a contending team,
Gulden is a modern day player.
absolutely.
that
So
hurts.
yeah, that did not help. Like we spoke about earlier, TDK apparently it came out today that he was under the flu or under some sort of virus or something.
Cough or something. Yeah.
Yep, and he could not perform as well as he supposedly should be, and got absolutely
These stories come
torn
out
to
at the end of the
shreds.
game, not before the
Cap.
Yeah, absolutely torn to shreds by
Yeah.
Max Gawn, 34-year-old. But I think it's a bit too early. But I have a question for you,
game. Hit me.
and I know your answer, but I'm gonna ask you so everybody else can hear it too.
Bit
Do you
worried.
think the 8.4? Do you think the $1.8 million that St Kilda paid for the coning is worth it?
No.
Or will it be worth it?
No.
You know what? Let's predict the future.
It
Will
might
worth
be. It might be. The thing with De Koning is Carlton for a long time have been waiting for him to arrive.
Yep.
And we sort of felt he almost arrived last year.
Yep.
And that's why we even offered him $1 million. We just couldn't afford to pay him 1.8.
Yep.
So St Kilda just decided to take on that potential on him arriving this season or next season.
Yep.
Well, the question is whether he will arrive. I
Yeah.
think he will. So it might be long term a decent. And right now it's not paying off,
Yep.
but I think he will arrive. He'll become a premier ruckman in the AFL and he'll pay off.
Is a ruckman ever worth 1.8?
Absolutely
That's
not.
a different. Yeah, and
Absolutely
that's
not.
probably fair
To
enough.
answer the question, absolutely
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely a
Yeah.
question. Conversation for another time. I think they'll do it
To wrap
for
us
this
up.
week. We'll wrap it up. As always, a big shout out and a big thank you to everybody for tuning in. We love all the arguments that take place on Twitter.
There's a lot of
on
arguments
TikTok.
today.
There will be a lot of arguments that will come out of today's conversations.
We're not going to be favourites of Essendon supporters after this.
I mean, they're horrible and they're dog shit, and we've been saying it for a long time, so I don't really care. Absolutely, everybody, as
like,
always.
share, subscribe. Our tipping competition. Don't forget, you're welcome to
Absolutely.
join. I think I'm struggling at the
numbers.
moment. Yeah, but the numbers are
Hey,
good.
listen, those upsets caused a lot of problems on the
Almost
weekend, let's
50
be
people
honest.
join, massive prizes.
Yes, sir. At the end of it.
Take us away.
Well, with that, guys, actually, before we go,
Ooh.
we'll let everybody
Ooh.
know we're going to have a bit of a different format for next week's episode.
Yes, next 2 weeks.
Yes, next 2 weeks, you're right. I, unfortunately, will be away, so we won't be able to physically be in the studio together to record. So it'll be a bit of a different format. Might do a live stream. We'll see how that goes.
Just give us your feedback once you see it.
Absolutely. But with that, we'll see you guys next week, guys. Ciao.